Guy Nation, what's poppin'? Crazy Dog coming at you once again on the Buckin' Crazy YouTube channel. And I have some very interesting Buckeyes transfer portal news to talk about. As earlier today, Bill Kurlick, who covers the Buckeyes for 247sports.com, posted an article talking about some topics that have been asked, in the forums and stuff. And one of those topics was where he went over players that the staff has identified as good candidates, or at least possible candidates, when it comes to the transfer portal. And when he's talking about the staff, I believe he's referring to the coaching staff, not the staff of the site. He's talking about the coaching staff. Just to clear that up, right? Now, to be completely honest, I expect the Buckeyes to be somewhat active. I don't expect them to go out and pull a Colorado, right? And freaking bring in 50 players. That would be insane. But expect them to go out and address their needs. And we already know what those needs are, right? Quarterback, trenches, being offense and defensive line, maybe a skill player or two, and then, odds and ends, maybe a punter, kicker, something like that. You already know what they do. But yeah, with that being said, let's take a look and see who Bill Kurlick mentioned in his article for those who don't have a, membership, because 247 Sports is behind a paywall. If you want to look at the content on the Bucknuts page, which is Ohio State's 247 Sports affiliated page, you got to pay to see the content in the forums and stuff and what these writers put on there. So for anyone who doesn't pay for that stuff, shout out to the Scarlet and Gray podcast on Twitter for tweeting out the list of players that Bill Kurlick mentioned in his little article. And we're going to go over those players right now. So before I get into that, be sure as always to hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell, and enough of the word salad. Let's get right into it, all right? So here's the tweet from the Scarlet and Gray podcast. And I quote, Ohio State has identified following transfer portal players as possible additions. And as you can see at the bottom, according to Bill Kurlick. So right off the bat, you notice 3 non-linemen, 2 quarterbacks, 1 running back, and the rest are linemen. So the 2 quarterbacks, Riley Leonard and Will Howard. Notice, no Cam Ward. Interesting. And then you have running back Trevor Etienne. And for those wondering, yes, that is the brother of Jaguars running back Travis Etienne. He recently entered the portal from Florida a few days ago. And I actually had a video that I was going to post talking about Etienne entering the portal, but I decided against it, especially when I saw Bill Kurlick post his article. So yeah, Trevor Etienne. That would be awesome, especially if Trey Henderson enters the draft. And then in terms of linemen, you have D lineman LT Overton, who the Buckeyes have been connected to in the past. I believe we were high on him coming out of high school. They didn't have the number 1 defensive lineman available in the portal, Walter Nolan. I already know we're probably not getting him because he's going to be hella expensive NIL-wise. I don't know if the Buckeyes would be wanting to fork over the serious dough NIL-wise to bring him in. That would be a lot of money dedicated to him in NIL. Johnson, if you want to beat the washed allegations, you go out and get Walter Nolan. For real. Then you have offensive tackle Chase Basantis, another guy that the Buckeyes were connected to in the past, coming out of high school. Defensive tackle Marley Cook. There's been a lot of talk about him and the Buckeyes. I believe he met with Larry Johnson a few days ago, and I'm pretty sure he's got a visit coming up if he hasn't visited already. Nose tackle Thor Griffin, offensive tackle Carter Smith, and defensive tackle Derek Harmon, who will actually be in Columbus this weekend. So there you go. Those are the players mentioned. And if I had to give an honest to God prediction as to who I think the Buckeyes could land out of this group, I'm going to say Riley Leonard at quarterback. I think they do manage to get LT Overton. ETN would be awesome, but again, it depends on if Trey Henderson goes pro or not. But man, I would love Trevor Etienne on this team for sure. He's a dog. Walter Nolan, I think he's far too expensive. But it's interesting that the staff view him as a possible target. Interesting. We'll see what happens there. But I think Basantis, I'll say Carter Smith, and then Derek Harmon. So those are the guys that I think we could land. It'll be interesting to see who else pops up. Another thing I've noticed, no corners, no safeties, and of course no receivers. I don't expect us to go hard after receivers because look at the receiving core we got and look at the guys coming in the next recruiting class, right? I actually did hear that they are going around maybe trying to, get some other receivers to come in, and finish up the class, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, if I hear anything else, I will definitely have a video talking about it. But yeah, we're in the midst of the 30-day transfer portal window, and I expect utter chaos over the next couple weeks. And of course, once the Buckeyes start landing some guys out of the portal, I'll be making videos talking about who we're getting, what they did in college, so far and their other stops. And then, talk about stats and stuff and, where they were coming out of high school. So, that's really all I got. As always, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell, and I will see you all later. I'm Crazy Dog coming at you on the Buckin' Crazy YouTube channel. And as always, go Bucks, and the bowl game is getting closer. I will have my game preview out probably a couple days before the game. And of course, I'll be doing game streams on the main channel. Not just Buckeye game stream, of course. I'll be doing some other bowl games too. So you're going to want to keep an eye out for that. But yeah, as always, I'm Crazy Dog coming at you on the Buckin' Crazy YouTube channel. Let's go Bucks. OH, I'm out. Bye-bye.